Hello, everybody. This is the continuation of the SOS meditation series. Today we are beginning I think it's our fourth meditation since I've gotten back into it. Since we've begun I think it's the third one, the weekly meditations. I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to have all of you with me. To begin with, think about a comfortable position for you to be in the real world. Maybe it's sitting down in your chair or on a pillow. Maybe it's laying on your bed, or maybe even standing up. And whichever of these positions you feel the most comfortable in, doesn't have to be any of these. You could really mix it up if you want to, but any of these will work. That's where we're going to begin, with your posture. Something nice and comfy, where you can lay there as still as you'd like for just a little bit. And then when you get to that position, when you start to feel like you're actually relaxed and taking it easy, just take a minute. Notice where your body is in the world. How your feet feel, how your hands feel. And just think for a moment about how you're breathing. Don't try to change it or anything. Don't try to mess with it, but just at first, think about your breaths. It might start with releasing a breath or taking one in. Or maybe you're thinking about how the last meal you ate was really nice or not very good. When you breathe in, you're taking in all that positive energy from your day, from your week, from your meal, from your sleep. And when you exhale, you're letting go of all that negativity. So let's just, for a moment, think about that. Just breathing in a little bit. And then exhaling. Just a slow rhythm. Slow and steady. As slow as you like. Whatever's comfortable for you. When we think about traditional forms of meditation, we think about a Buddhist representation of being in a mode of not doing. Not where you're trying to be still or where you're trying to relax, but where you're not trying to really do anything. Where you're just relaxing and accepting, not because you want to get somewhere or do some kind of goal, achievement, priority. The only priority right now is to have no priorities at all. So, just think very regular, or whatever kind of thoughts you have, and let them come and go. And if you're like me, you will have random thoughts enter your mind, and right now I have them as I'm helping you. Sometimes these thoughts are positive, sometimes they're negative, sometimes they're neither. But the thoughts themselves aren't really important. And whenever you feel like you've forgotten about your breathing, and it might be right away for some of you. Just focus back on what you were doing before, on the breath before you. Just focus a little bit at a time. And while we're here, I'd like to begin by making you imagine some things. John Kabat-Zinn, one of my idols in meditation, often speaks about closeness to oneself, closeness to one's physicality and spirituality, by taking this time to enrich yourself. Enrich yourself and relieve yourself. He talks about how we should be congratulatory for every moment we spend in this great space. And I think that's really important. To congratulate ourselves even for trying, even if we fail. And so imagine for me that you're looking up in the sky and there's no lights around you, no pollution, no clouds, just an eternal galaxy before you, the moon slowly drifting across the sky. You see how close you are to the moon, even though you're who knows exactly how many miles away. The moon is impressive, as always. But don't let it distract you too much from your breathing. When the moon reaches about halfway across the sky, the midpoint at midnight, that's when the clouds start to form. Maybe they're clouds like a cumulonimbus. Maybe they're a little bit more stormy for you. And they can be whatever shape you prefer. But clouds appear, and there's always that spookiness when the moon is covered and obscured by clouds. Reminds us of a different time of year. But for now, we're not thinking about that. We're thinking about how all of those thoughts and feelings through our day, the negative and the positive, they can be like a fog in our mind. They can be opaque. They can stop us from thinking about what really matters, which is our closeness to our friends and family, our closeness to nature, and our closeness to ourselves. And in moments like these, in moments of doubt, or frustration, or depression and melancholia, we still have these moments that we can hold on to, even if some of them aren't great. But right now, I think from our laying position, from our sitting position, or from our standing position, we let ourselves let go of a few things, maybe just one or two at first. A few things that are sticking with us through our day. What are a few of those things for you? Maybe it's a deadline, a bill, a relationship, or a talk, or even just taking time for yourself. Whatever it might be, let that weight sit down on the ground beside you. Let that weight drop and come off like a jacket or a hat, and set it down beside you. Feel how much lighter you are, how much better you feel just for a little bit. And when you breathe in, you feel like you're floating just a little bit off the ground, maybe a few inches, starting to rise as you think about something else to let go of. And whatever that is, whatever that soft and warm feeling that you have from letting go of something else, it grows. It grows little by little, but it stacks on itself. And even though those clouds are overhead, and even though that weight is being released, you know that you have a long, long way to go. But it might get a little easier if you got rid of just one more thing. Let yourself levitate a little bit more. Think about that last, fifth, fourth, third thing. It might be a diet plan, an exercise plan, or it might be a trauma, or a feeling, or a memory. But in this moment, with me, right here, and with everybody else, it's not about those things. It's about us. This moment between you and me. And so when that weight slips off of you, when it touches down on the ground and you feel yourself elevate, you notice how far up you go. And I think other things start to fall off at that point. When you open up the floodgates for this kind of release, you'll be surprised what else you can let go of. You can let go of your fears, anxieties, worries. Sometimes you can even let go of your thoughts altogether. But whatever you let go of, whatever it is, your breath is still with you this whole time. And so with me, you breathe in and out. And with each breath in, you stabilize. Strong, steady, ready. And with each breath out, you grow lighter and lighter, ascending more and more into the sky. It's dark though. All these clouds are blocking out the moonlight. And so we have to keep going. We have to keep rising. We rise and rise, slowly inching our way up the skyline, letting go of ideas and thoughts and worries, things that cripple us through our week. And when we finally feel that weight unburdening us, when we finally see the clouds above us, just a hand's reach away, we start to push through them. The bottom of the clouds are fluffy and calm, but worrying. To reach, we have to keep going forward. And so we let go more and more, letting ourselves lift and lift. The clouds can feel bizarre and confusing and overwhelming. We can't see our nose in front of us. We're not sure what might happen next, but all we can do, all we can focus on, is the next breath in and out. And with each breath, we rise again and again, faster and faster. Until finally, we see the cloud cover give way. And we breach through the flowing wisps of puffy cotton-like air, reaching up and out with us. And we see it again, but this time the moonlight is reflected on the top of the clouds. Perfectly calm. The flowing sea before us stretches beyond our eyesight, as if stretching into the galaxy itself beyond. You can see so much atop these thoughts and feelings through the threshold and barrier we've crossed, through the comfort and calmness. You've come so far already. And every now and again, that cotton candy, that white, snowy top brushes against you, and the cloud wafts like smoke, slipping away from you and dissipating into the air, the atmosphere, the ozone. And up here, up way far from all the trivial concerns, from all the problems and thoughts, this is where we begin our meditation. Meditation is often considered to be a form of exercise, an exercise that is active, but also a rest. We activate our muscles in slow, still ways, but we activate our brains more than anything else, and some might even say our spirits. But it's important to remember that in this moment, we are floating on the breeze. The meditation is just a word, and our breath is just our breath. And when relaxing here, when lean back, when set aside, there are no requirements to reach this point. There are no rules, no expectations, no threats. The only thing we are required to do is have no requirements at all. In this far up place, what do you see on the horizon, in the galactic dome around us? What color are the stars? How close do they seem together? How bright are they to you? And when the moon moves, sliding across the cloud cover, do you see its twinkle against the fluffiness of the sea before us? You see how far away, but how close it can all feel. In this moment, with me, I'd like you to consider just a few things. Consider what in your life you are grateful for. It may be a person, or an object, or an idea, or even yourself. As you breathe in, think about how great that thing is, how powerful it makes you, how close you are, how intimate you can be, the relationship you have with that thought. I will tell you something I am grateful for, if this helps. I am grateful for every moment I spend helping people, giving something, and changing somebody's day. In our world, there is so much separation, so much farness, that sometimes it feels relieving and elevating just to help put things a little closer together. I am grateful for my humanity, for my closeness to my empathy and my sympathy of others. I am grateful for the kindness that is shown to me on a daily basis. And I am grateful for all of the friends that have helped me get to this point. And I'm grateful to be speaking right now. There is a power in each of us to change for the better. And you don't need to wait until you lose a certain amount of weight, or you eat a certain amount of salads, or finish a project, or hug a loved one. You can change right here, right now, in this special place where you're free from so many of your burdens. Because in this place, Nothing governs you but yourself. Think about where we are. Think about your breath. Think about how far we've come. Do you feel all of that weight flowing away from you? Do you feel how much closer you are to yourself? This place is meant just for you. It's meant to be there as a friend, as a guide, and a companion. And this journey, it's crazy sometimes. In fact, sometimes it's the craziest thing in the world. But we're here with it together. And every moment that you stay in this place, every moment that you spend here, it's a veneration of yourself. So far away from everything, yet so close to who you really are. And the only thing that needs to be with you is the breathing and the breath. Soft and steady. In and out. so far away. Worlds, solar systems away from all those problems. As you float through the breeze, through the top of the clouds, at the peak of the world. This is a faraway place. What does this safe space do for you? Where the air feels electric. And you can smell like the peak of a mountain. So clean and pure. Think of all the healing. How sore you've been as you breathe and let yourself ride on this wave in the sea of clouds. We face so many problems, so many errors. And we fight each one of them. We fight because adaptation and survival. We're the only ones on this planet who can find this kind of peace. Who can rise in the sea of clouds. in moments like these, it's up to us to maintain that stillness. And it may become very, very difficult to do sometimes. In fact, you may be feeling a discomfort or an itch or a twinge somewhere in your body. And you have a few choices that you can look to. You can move, react, and respond, and change your position in some way or scratch some part of your body to relieve yourself. Or you can simply notice how you feel, where it is, what it feels like. And you can ride on that wave of sensation. You can find that place. And you can accept it. In this safe space, it almost feels like anything could happen. And in our worst moments, we forget that safe places like these even exist. So do your very best to remember this feeling. To remember how calm you are, how deep you are, how strong you feel, how graceful your mind is, how beautiful the clouds are, and how full the moon is, slowly dropping beneath the cloud cover. Meditation is something that many people think is for just a certain kind of person. They think it's not for them, or they think it's not their thing. But you can meditate at any age. Even a baby could meditate. That state of mind belongs to the people of the world, no matter who they are. And you're one of those people. And as you slowly begin to feel your body release, the slow awakening, the calming, the restoration, the clouds start to part little by little, the moon all the way under. And as they part, You see the brilliant red and orange in the distance of the rising sun. And you know that your time here is coming to an end slowly, so slowly. You know that you've spent enough time here just for today. You know that you're going to be back soon. You're going to be okay. And you're going to move on with your day. You know that that time you've spent here for yourself, that warm time that you've had just for you, it's something that you can fully congratulate yourself for taking this road, for coming here today, for taking the time that you need. And as the sun awakens and shines the first peeking head, you know that the clouds are giving way and your levitation is wearing thin, and that soon you'll be back down to earth. And you may want to stay up in the clouds. I know I do. But for now, simply congratulate yourself for making it all the way through, for taking this time, for taking a step out of your day just for these moments. For giving yourself that extra edge. For being kind to the most important person in the world. And finally, as the clouds part fully, as the sun rises fully, we find ourselves dipping and lowering to the sound of the ground ready for us to come back. And as we land slowly next to all of our weights and our troubles and our thoughts, I think you'll find that when you pick them back up, when you really look at them again, they'll weigh just a little bit less. And that's where we find ourselves back where we were before. Attention fully in our bodies, opening our eyes, and coming back to reality. And thank you all so much for listening to this. Glad we could take some time for it.